Learned a family secret a few months ago, and it's been on my mind due to the holiday. Plus all updates. I lost my mother when I was very young, and my father remarried to the woman I grew up calling Mom. Mom has an older son and a daughter who is about 12 years older than me. It was never a secret that Mom wasn't my biological mother. I see my stepbrother on the holidays, but I have had zero contact with my stepsister. I learned why that was. My mom and stepsister moved in after she and my dad got married. I don't remember her being very nice, and then she was just gone. I was told she had to go away for a while. Mom brought me everywhere with her. The store, to her friends' places, to the zoo, etc. She helped me get ready for school and helped me with schoolwork. She watched a handful of kids' movies in the theater that, looking back, were likely indecipherable nonsense to her. All 3 of those Pokemon movies, for example. She cried at my high school graduation, even when she promised me she wasn't going to cry. She was my mom. She loved me to bits. All the while, she never erased my mother. Her and my dad would look at photos of my mother, and Dad would tell stories, and Mom always said she wished she met her. My father and maternal grandfather had it for me after she died, so I had something to remember her by. I have that photo album in my apartment. Been looking at it a lot lately. Here's the kicker. It's not the original photo album. I never saw the original photo album. What made my mom disown my stepsister is that she burned the original after my mom scolded her for being rude to my father and I. Mom discovered what had happened because her and her friends had done it together, and one of her friends felt so guilty she confessed to her own mom, who called my mom. Mom kicked stepsister out of the house and had movers take her things to her dad's house. Dad came home to my mom, who explained in tears what was up. She and my dad then went around to family, friends close and distant, and even my mother's alma mater to look for photos of my mom to try to make a new album. Dad told me everyone in the lives had risen to occasion, and they were able to build a new album. Even if some of the original photos and Polaroids were gone forever, they had new photos from Mom's college friends. I asked Dad if my stepsister ever apologized or tried to reach out, and he confirmed she tried, but Mom fundamentally wants nothing to do with her. I thought a lot about forgiveness and family these last few months. I never knew about the original album, so I didn't have much of a reason to hate her. I do think the album was likely a last straw for Mom, and wasn't the primary problem, even though destroying the album was cruel and kind of evil. I don't plan on talking to my mom about it. I think it would be better to respect her desire to continue not having a relationship of any kind with my stepsister. My only plan is to make sure to give both of my folks big hugs. Update 3 days later. I made a post a few days ago about learning about how the photo album made of photos of my deceased mother was actually a replacement album after my stepsister, her bio daughter, destroyed the original by setting it on fire with her friends. This led to my mom, I call my stepmom Mom, going no contact with my stepsister. I was just getting something off my chest, was surprised by the responses I got. I texted my mom that I knew about what happened and asked if I could call her to talk about it. We talked and did clarify some things my dad likely forgot. Even before she had started seeing my dad, my mom and stepsister were having problems. Her ex-husband was a fair-weather parent and wasn't very supportive. My stepsister, during her last 2 years of high school, became part of a clique of girls who were always in trouble. Mom had to field several accusations of bullying and otherwise poor behavior. She tried to get her into counseling or therapy, but she refused point blank, and at a certain point, you can't force someone if they don't want to go into therapy. She tried grounding her and taking away privileges. She had also been lying about applying to colleges, so the final few months before graduation were a mad dash to apply for schools before throwing the towel and having her apply to community college. When she married my dad and moved the both of them into my dad's house, the only expectations my mother gave her were be nice and be tidy. She was never expected to babysit me. Well, she couldn't follow those guidelines and clashed almost every day with my mom and dad, and would raise her voice at me, I had been 6 years old, for watching TV or playing in the backyard. My stepsister only lived that house for over a month before my mom sent her away. The breaking point was reached even before the photo album. My mom told her ex-husband he had to take her for a while. Stepsis was pissed because her father lived an hour away and she wouldn't be able to see her friends, but Mom put her foot down that she couldn't stay there with the way she had been treating everyone. My stepsister must have found the album and called her friends to meet up with her where they burned it in a bonfire. When Mom asked why on earth she did it, my stepsis thought it would be funny to take something from my father and I that we would miss. Mom ended up kicking her out right there and calling movers that day. She was furious and upset and felt the two of them having some distance apart would be for the best. Mom was also panicking because she thought her marriage had just gone up in flames. However, my father never blamed my mom for what had happened. Mom told me she just didn't have the desire to reconnect with my stepsister when she reached out a few years ago. She can't let go of my stepsister's deliberate cruelty to not just her and my father, but to me. My stepsister was an adult when she did what she did. In her absence, she had a wonderful husband and 2 sons, my older stepbrother and I, who were kind to her. My relatives all loved her. She admitted that her mental health had improved considerably without my stepsister around. She had wanted to prioritize the people in her life who weren't toxic. She assured me she hadn't left her with nothing. She had full access to a college fund that my mother set up for her when she was born, and she will still get an inheritance. Mom finished the call by telling me she still felt horrible about what happened to the photo album and wished those memories of my mother weren't gone forever. I told her it was okay, and that I appreciated the lengths she and my dad went to replace it before telling her I loved her. To address a few commenters, I did not and still do not have any desire to talk to my stepsister. I just wanted the whole story. What do you guys think? Let's discuss in the comments. Follow and like for more stories.